Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Good, thank you. I'm very excited to be here, and I hope that you... Seriously. I've been here a number of times, but I'm particularly excited to be here today. Okay, guys, really, this is a milestone for us. I'm here representing Vodacom just to give you an overview of how did you get here, why, for instance, did you decide to choose iTech as a partner, what is the roadmap ahead, and what is basically the picture of success from a Vodacom stroke iTech point of view. But I must be honest, before I go straight into my presentation, is that I'm really excited when I hear things like, 400% growth. And I'm thinking in my industry that we're operating in, we're kind of like in the single digit, type of growth. And I'm thinking 400%, wow, we've chosen the right partner. But I can see why. For you guys to be here on a Friday afternoon from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I can see the commitment why you will be able to achieve the 500%. So if I can just quickly go straight into, the partnership that, we've signed up now with iTech. This is not the first time that we've been dealing with iTech. Some of you might know. It's been going on for 2 years. So all what we've done is now is, we're kind of like in a courtship stage where we're trying to find out, if there's mutual agreement and we understand each other. And we decided, okay, now let's kind of like extend it nationally. And that's what we've done. So today, as I say, I'm particularly happy because this fits in very well with our strategy as Vodacom Group, and at the same time as Vodacom Enterprise. So I didn't want to assume that you guys know much about Vodacom. I thought I would just give you a high-level overview. I'm not too good with this. Clinton, just help me out. Do you mind if, just, okay. So Vodacom as a company, I don't know if you guys know much about it, but I will not assume. So we are in 5 countries outside South Africa that report to the Vodacom Group. So that is, we're in Lesotho, we're in Tanzania, we're in Mozambique, we're in DRC, and of course we're looking at couple of new businesses that we might be acquiring now in Africa. I checked this morning, from a share price point of view, about 179 billion market cap as a company. Our share price this morning was trading, I think, around 120. So if you look at, where we come from, I think we kind of like listed when 2009 or 10, and how our share, at the time when we listed, I think was like 55 rands. Today it's sitting at 120 rands. So, you kind of like have partnered right with the right company, and I hope you've bought some shares, or we should give you for free, as part of a welcome pack. So, yeah, we're part of Vodafone. We are owned by Vodafone, 65% of Vodafone. Vodafone, they are in 26 countries all around the world. South Africa, or Vodacom Group, within the Vodafone stable, we rank number 3. Number 1 is Germany, 2 is Italy, and then we South Africa number 3. In fact, when we joined, I think we're number 5. So we've kind of like moved up, the ranks, and thanks to the, European crisis, we've managed to kind of like catch up. And at least, we're being noticed now. So when they refer to us one of the big 6 opcos. Who knows? So they always talk about Africa, but when you go there now, everybody wants to talk to you. So which is nice. So that's where we are. In terms of our growth going forward, some of you maybe have been following our financial results. Not so long ago, Shamil, in fact, we were in this room when he spoke to our analysts about the prospects of the future, our strategy, where we're going. I myself, maybe I should start by introducing myself. So I look after what I call the SME division, so small and mid-market. That's one cap that I'm wearing, but at the same time, I look after the partner channels for the enterprise business. So if you want to be a partner of Vodacom from an enterprise perspective, then you come to us, and that's my division that I'm looking after. So it's both the partner channels, hence, the relationship with iTech, and then at the same time, I look after the SME and mid-market. So I'm the managing executive for that. So Shamil and the board, they approved our strategy. And our strategy basically is saying, given the decline in the voice revenues and on the retail business, then where is our growth coming from? So analysts, they were always harping on the fact that it's either you're going to grow by acquisitions or you're going to grow organically. And then they will always talk about our African expansion, comparing us to MTN. And then, yes, that's where maybe part of the growth is going to come from, maybe with 1 or 2 acquisitions that we're looking at. And our CEO has gone on record saying that at least we're looking at about 2 countries before 2014. But at the same time, we're looking at growing organically as well. And then if you take our 3 main business units, so you've got, Clinton, maybe the next slide. So that's basically what you have. And simplistically, this is Vodacom from a group level. So you've got the EBU on far left or right, depends where you're sitting. EBU is basically the enterprise business unit. So most we in the ICT, so we like acronyms and all of that. So it simply means enterprise. That's the enterprise business unit. And then the second one is the CBU is the consumer business unit. And then the international leg is just all the 5 countries outside of South Africa that reports to Vodafone. So we've got others like Ghana, Egypt, but those ones are like separate and they report directly to Vodafone. So that's basically where we are. So from a revenue contribution point of view, most of our business, remember we were a consumer business, that's where we started. Okay, and then I think around about maybe 2005, 2004, somewhere there, we ventured into the enterprise space, and we've seen some significant growth, over the years there, where we started with mobile first, and that came through our retail channels. So we kind of like used our retail channels to get into the enterprise space. And then after that, then we started focusing on your top corporates, the top 1,500 as you call them, and it was still more on the mobile side. So the strategy changed around 2008 when we then introduced the fixed line business. And again, the big question, I remember we used to debate whether do we grow by acquisition, do we go out and look for carrier services on the fixed line, or do we try and build it ourselves? But then the final decision was that we're going to grow it. So if you look at the enterprise business, it's about 9 billion in total, spread between both fixed and mobile. And by far the majority is still voice. And then I think about 1 billion, is fixed business. But if you look at the market potential that's out there on the fixed line, it's still massive. And hence our strategy going forward and for the group perspective is that we seriously and unapologetically getting into the fixed line space. And we're putting all the money behind it, the investments and the infrastructure and everything that we're doing. So that's where we are. And then the CBU business, which is basically your retail, I'm not going to talk much about it as well. But I just quickly want to tell you guys how we're structured internally from an enterprise perspective. So we've got 3 segments. We've just done a simple segmentation model. So where you have VGE, we call it, it's Vodafone Global Enterprise. And what it is basically all those companies that are managed by Vodafone. So give you an example, for instance, a VW based in Uitenhage. So VW, they're in Germany, the worldwide customer of Vodafone. So we've created those, kind of like a separate entity that looks after all those entities that are kind of like linked at Vodafone level. So probably about 500 of them, nationally. And then we have what we call corporate. So your corporate is basically your large enterprises, 500 plus, type of companies, talking number of employees. And those are the guys that we flag under the corporate banner. And then you have the small and medium enterprises as well, which is basically from a Soho, one-man individual, plumber, to up to a guy who probably runs about, say, 99 employees in his company. And then what happens is then we've got a vertical, which is public sector, which are left out there. So, and then we have the partner, again, channels that I have there. So I basically look after the SMEs, as I said, and then the partner channels. So why the partnership as well? I mean, I said within Vodafone and within Vodacom, group enterprise has been given huge focus going forward. So what we're doing is, you probably must have seen that in the news, that we are acquiring a lot of businesses in the UK. We acquired Cable and Wireless. We're busy with the transaction now, a big company in Germany. And here we've decided to grow, our business organically. But then it's not about that. It's not like you're investing in resources, systems, processes, and everything. But at the same time, you have to invest in channel. Your go-to-market strategy has to be clear. So we said, okay, we had a direct model before, where our salespeople internally were focusing on the large enterprises. And I think we've just got about close to 100. But at the time, the focus was to go after the large enterprises. We did a very good job there. When we introduced, we've got big companies on our books like your Imperials, Southern Sun, some of the government departments, that we're running on our network at the moment. Then we said, if we want to accelerate our growth, we're not going to focus on that because it's a captive market. At least you've got a limited number of companies that you can target. But you've got, this forever growing fast sector, which is your mid-market and your small enterprises as well. So we said, okay, the best way to do it is that it's either we go out there and employ a tsunami of people, or what we do is we cleverly select, partners that we want to deal with them, who already has got footprint, and at least who are credible in the market and like iTech. So I never said it when I approached you guys, but yes, so and that's why then there's a strong fit between what we want to do from a Vodacom perspective with what Rodney and Ryan are doing at iTech as well. And of course, that's why I'm excited to say now this relationship, we're extending it to the dealer network and to everybody like nationally now. So it's not like it's something that we're doing by the way, to be quite honest. With everything that we're doing, this is my focus. You're going to, in fact, I wanted to invite Shamil because every time when we go on Exco, and he's always asking, so how far are we, with our partnership? When are we getting to meet the guys? Because he really wants to meet you guys. So point I'm trying to make is that this partnership is supported at a group level. It's supported at an enterprise level. You are hoping, and I'm hoping that you will feel it as well, even on the ground, in terms of the support, that we're going to be giving you. Rajan here, who's going to be coming and talking, is managing the national partners and the relationship with iTech. But at the same time, there's a team. Clinton, where is Clinton? Clinton is our national account manager, dedicated to iTech. Supporting Clinton are the regional account managers. In Gauteng, where is Rada? There's a bag there. So most of you guys will be dealing with her. And then we've got regional account managers as well, and senior executives that, you do not necessarily have to escalate whatever issues that you have to head office. They can be resolved. And our regions are very much empowered. I was sharing with Ryan and Rodney the other day that I've got my equivalent, who runs the whole region, for instance, in the Western Cape, at that senior level. None of our competitors do have that. But what that does is it gives us an ability to make decisions there and then. So if you go and sit in front of Helen Zille and then she tells you that actually, Vodacom sucks because this morning, lost signal or whatever, you are able to make a call instead of saying, just wait a second, I'll have to call head office. So we don't operate like that. So what we're doing is, the guys are going on a roadshow, I think, with Rodney's team, and they'll be visiting the guys all over and then plugging in and making sure that, the regional guys are there. They are excited about it. But what is critical, I think the next slide, is that we have to make sure that for this partnership to succeed, we onboard you guys properly in understanding, one, our culture and how we do things, but at the same time, understanding your culture. And of course, Rodney has set, the tone already. If on Friday at 2 o'clock we're here and we're talking 400%, I can see, light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm really excited about it. All I want to do is make sure that part of the 400%, growth going forward that you achieve, we would have contributed a lot as well in making sure that you get there. So it is a mutual beneficial partnership. It's not about us. And as I always said, I don't want us to be arrogant about this and say, because we are a global brand, not at all. It's about what we can gain, and make sure that at least you guys succeed in what you're doing, but at the same time you understand what our priorities and our drivers are. I think if we get to that point and without arrogantly making sure that we understand each other and we work and support each other, I'm sure we'll definitely achieve more. So then the next, I thought I would share this slide with you guys from a revenue perspective in terms of the segments. Remember I said we are segmented. We've got large corporate, we've got small, medium, and the reason why we're really focusing on your small and medium sector, I'm sure you know about it, is that one, it's very profitable. Two, the margins are still quite okay. Unlike when you go to the big companies where they squeeze you to the bone, you end up asking yourself whether is it worth doing this business, but you end up carrying the business because it's a trophy account. You want to kind of like use it for marketing and all of that. You can only do those for a few accounts, but at the end of the day, what will sustain you as a business is if you're making sure that you're making inroads, in the small and medium account. So if you look at just, the expected, I know this is a bit of an eye test, but if you look at all the different, industries and how much in billions that side, if you look at the finance and business sector, you're looking close to 40 billion. And then and this is only split between, your corporate and your SMEs as well. So the green one or the blue one is your SMEs and SOHOs, and the red one, and then I'm not sure, is that green or what? But that's corporate, kind of blind. So it just kind of like tells you, how big, the opportunity is out there. I think I'm just basically reiterating what Rodney said as well, that there's still massive opportunities out there. We just have to be smart about it, and make sure that at least you get the right people to work with you, because you cannot be an answer to everything. But I'm sure if you work closely and then identify who your strategic partners will be, then we work together, I'm sure we'll succeed. Okay. Okay. So basically, with this slide, I just basically want to say that, we're shifting into the highest gear, with iTech, and I've got no doubt that our strategy, I've kind of like touched on it. It's fine, carry on. And this is basically, the segments that I was talking to you about, guys, and then the channel to market that we're using, internally and externally. So, I mean, for Sohos, we've got our retail guys, footprint that, your Voda shops, your independent dealers. But with you, that's not what we're looking at. Rodney said it, we're not looking at you guys being Voda shops, but what